We've been trying to tell the truth on a lot of head coaches, and I wanted to tell the truth about Marcus Freeman tonight. Could this have worked out any better for Notre Dame? We should have put the Notre Dame helmet on the set. It's right over there. I'm looking at it right now. Could this have worked out any better for Notre Dame? Remember a couple of years ago, Brian Kelly, he had been there for a long time. He's the all-time winningest head coach in Notre Dame history, and he didn't get fired. He chose to leave. He chose to leave. It hurt some people's feelings. It didn't hurt everybody's feelings, but they had, as it turns out, his backfill already in-house. Marcus Freeman was already there. And so Marcus Freeman does not go with him. Marcus Freeman stays. Marcus Freeman becomes the head coach at Notre Dame. He's never been a head coach before. So like Ohio State and like Georgia and like Oklahoma recently at that point, Notre Dame's going to roll the dice on a first-time head coach. And Marcus Freeman takes the job, and now 3 years later, I think we can definitively look at Notre Dame football and say they're in a better spot than where Brian Kelly had them. And I doubted that would happen, by the way. Like, if you told me that was going to happen, I would have said, all right, I need to see it. I guess it's not impossible, but I'm going to need to see that. Well, you know what? I've seen it. And he's been there 3 years, and you should still be seeing a sharp learning curve. Guy's in his late 30s, okay? That guy at a major program should be showing obvious flaws still. And you know what? You could throw out the Marshall loss, the Northern Illinois loss. It's not like they haven't been there. What I'm saying is it should be glaring. Really, if history has taught us anything, it should be glaring when you take a first-time head coach and give him a major job, period. But he's been a first-time head coach being given a major job in the most tumultuous era in the history of college football. And there have been bumps in the road, but the dude played for a national championship last year. And need I remind you, they came into the season, we thought their offensive line would be their weakness, and not only was it not, they got injured along the way on the offensive line, and still was the biggest testament to Marcus Freeman. The overall aura, the vibe, the identity of the team almost made it feel like it didn't matter how badly they got banged up. I'm watching Notre Dame, and at a certain point last year, you look and you say, oh, another lineman went down? It's Notre Dame. They'll just find a way. That is a place few programs rarely get to. But if you do get there, that's the best testament that you can give to a head coach, because that means head coach has done his job. What is his job? Marcus Freeman's not in the face of every offensive lineman in the weight room every day, but his strength and conditioning staff that he hired is. Marcus Freeman's not in the face of those guys on the field, but his offensive line and that staff that coaches his offensive line, they are. The development aspect, the psychological aspect, the mental and physical, every compartment that he's in charge of overseeing has been perfected enough to where that's the result that it's bearing. Okay? So then you ask yourself, well, where do they go from here? I think he's in an interesting spot right now. Hey, quick time out. Check and see if you're subscribed to the channel. If you're not, make sure you do. It's free. It doesn't obligate you or sign you up for anything. It just helps us keep the channel free. All right, back to the show. I think the truth is their recruiting has trended up, and it's trended up after they lost the general manager. And this is kind of a big thing people behind the scenes have been talking about in college football. Chad Bowden went to USC. It was a huge get for USC. USC recruiting has seen a big uptick. And the thinking was, well, USC's gain has to be Notre Dame's loss. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. The point is, you look at Notre Dame, and if you're looking for the lingering effects, the after effects of that, they're nowhere to be found, because as good as USC's doing, Notre Dame's killing it too. Notre Dame's on the path to maybe putting together the best class that Freeman's put together there. So, again, what you're talking about is you're talking about the very early indicators of, what great coaches have done in the past. What you've seen with great coaches is they build such a machine that the parts are interchangeable. You don't want to talk about people like that. because a program's only as good as the people. But if you got a strong program, it attracts the right people. So like one of the right people leaves, another of the right people comes right there in to replace him or her or whatever the case may be. Point being, again, most programs never get to that level. And here's what's crazy about that. You could look in the past and you say, man, like Nick Saban is the tailor-made example of that. Yeah, Saban did that at Bama. You know what else is true about Nick Saban? Freeman's 39 years old. When Nick Saban was 39 years old, he was a decade away from taking the LSU job. So they're doing it. I mean, Marcus Freeman's starting to do this at a completely different juncture of his life than Nick Saban ever thought about doing it. Saban was at Toledo when he was 39 years old. Just to give you an idea of sort of how different the trajectory is for Marcus Freeman, like some other guy. Dan Lanning's this age. Like a lot of other guys are doing this. Maybe not at this level, though. I think when you look back on 2024, I think Marcus Freeman will benefit a ton from what 2024 was. You benefit from going to the national championship game because you finally have it to put in front of people's faces. The doubting Thomases, so to speak, that had to see it to believe it. Well, there it is. We went. I mean, we played for a national championship. And anyone who told you we couldn't do that again, they lied to you. So you get to say that, but you also get to continue to hold the carrot collectively over your program, over your players, over your staff, because you still got embarrassed last year at home against Northern Illinois. You still got to the dance, but you didn't get the job done there. So it's like this perfect combination of a proof of performance, but also there's no complacency because, like, what did you really accomplish? There's no hardware in the building. They can't win a conference, and they didn't win the national championship game. I guess you got some bowl trophies. They're playing for the big one. So, again, how could it have gone any better for Notre Dame? How could it be going any better?